Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Sinclair here at Alaska's News Source, and I am very excited today because after about 6 weeks, 4,000 miles, the Capitol Christmas tree has come from, of course, our home state, Alaska, and has made it all the way to Washington, D.C. And here, very shortly, in less than an hour, we're going to see the Capitol Christmas tree lit up for the first time. Now, to help me out with this, we are going with our correspondent out in the Washington area, Josh Rotenberg. Josh, thank you so much for joining us. Can you kind of give us an idea of what we can expect for today's ceremony?
Yeah, good evening, Tracy. In about 10 minutes or so, we're expecting this ceremony to get underway right behind me. As you can see, there is the big Christmas tree. You guys should recognize it. It's from your neck of the woods, but we're going to have House Speaker Mike Johnson out here along with the Alaska congressional delegation, Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Dan Sullivan, Congresswoman Mary Peltola. They're all here that are going to be helping to light this Capitol Christmas tree. Of course, it's the 80-foot Sitka spruce from the Tongass National Forest, and it got here after that 6-week journey, making its way from Alaska all the way to Joint Base Andrews, and then it was rolled up here with a police escort just last week. And so with that said, we're just waiting for this all to go down about 5:30 Eastern time, so a little bit about 40 minutes or so. We should expect this to be lit.
Now, we saw the tree arrive. We've been watching it as we go, as it makes its way across the United States. What kind of give us an idea of what the tree looks like now? We can see it in the background. Does it look healthy? Does it look green? Did it make it all the way?
Well, you know, I'm no tree expert, but I'll play one on TV for you right now. You can take a look right now. There are 5,000 different ornaments, and there's going to be 5,000 LED lights on this thing. To me, it looks healthy, but again, I'm no tree expert. But what I can tell you right now is a lot of people are here. They are surrounding just off the camera. You can take a look for yourself. Yeah, it looks good to me right now.
Well, it is so cool because many of us, when they were talking about the tree, they said they needed 10,000 ornaments from Alaska, and a lot of us got together. I see those big bear ornaments, and I have to say, that's one of the ones I decorated. So I'm absolutely so excited. I'm sure mine is not on that tree, but because mine was very, very simple and not very artistic. But it just makes me so excited that you can actually see the shape of some of these big bear ornaments and the different things that they had at the Alaska Anchorage Museum here when we put it together. So what's the mood there? You look a little bit cold. We're actually warming up here in Alaska. How is the mood there in the Capitol?
Yeah, look, you know, you guys are in Alaska and you guys are used to the cold. You know, here in Washington, we're just getting into the holiday season, so we're getting used to the cold once again. I'm pretty bundled up, but yeah, there's a lot of people that are starting to filter in on both sides here. Everybody's really excited. You know, festive holiday season just getting underway here with Thanksgiving just passing and Christmas, of course, upon us. Pretty cool that you got a chance to put up one of these ornaments of the thousands that are on here, and that's really why it makes it the People's Tree, is what this Capitol Christmas tree is nicknamed, because there are ornaments that come from people in the very state where the tree comes from. And of course, with the tree coming from Alaska, you had Alaskans that had a chance to make an ornament for this tree.
I should turn my mic up. We've covered it a fair bit, but can you give me an idea about the journey from Alaska all the way to Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I mean, it took 6 weeks to get here, and that's just because this tree was on a tour. Almost like it was its own rock star. It went all over the West Coast. It went through the Midwest. It made a couple of stops in Maryland. Its last stop before it got here was Joint Base Andrews, where the president flies in and out of. And so a lot of people have already seen this tree, but now tonight they're going to get a chance to see it get lit. This is the 60th year that this has been happening, so this is a time-honored tradition here in Washington that marks the start of the holiday season. And so a lot of people get excited, and the good news is it's going to get lit tonight for the first time. But if you're not out here tonight and you happen to be in the Washington area from now through New Year's Day, of course, you can see it once it's lit every day once dusk hits.
That is really amazing for those of us here in Alaska to see our tree. We're very proud of this coming up here. Now, for Alaskans, this is the second time that Alaska has provided the tree. It came from the Chugach. I think, Josh, you had it in your story. I think it was back in the 80s that we had the tree come through before.
Yeah, 2015 was the last time that the tree was provided, but the second time in 10 years. And so it's pretty cool that Alaska gets to be a center stage here on the National Mall for everybody to see. It's amazing that this tree was once in the Tongass National Forest, and now it's here right behind the Capitol. And so everybody's going to get a chance to see it here over the next couple weeks.
I have to say I'm quite excited because we hear about an 80-foot tree, but until I see you standing in front of that tree, yeah. I did not quite understand how big this tree actually is.
Yeah, you know, I'm not exactly the tallest person in the world. On a good day, I'm about 5'7", and so this tree is more than 10 of me. Stacked up if it's 80 foot tall at the Sitka spruce. Yeah, it is an enormous tree. You know, you only see trees like this maybe at Rockefeller Center in New York City. So it's pretty cool to see up close in person. I was there earlier today when it was light out. I was just taking some different pictures of some of the ornaments, and when you get that close, you can really see just how big of a tree this is.
And so for the people that are just joining us, because we're getting some people, of course, we're on our live stream, we're on YouTube and on Facebook, kind of give us an idea, the ceremony is going to start here in a few minutes, kind of give us an idea of what we can expect from the ceremony.
Yeah, so this is a tradition that happens every single year, and so coming up at the top of the hour here, you're going to have the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson. He is going to be leading this ceremony along with Alaska's congressional delegation, Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Dan Sullivan, Congresswoman Mary Peltola. They're all going to get up here and speak. Governor Mike Dunleavy will be speaking, as well as a fourth grader, as you guys know, Rose Burke from Kenai, Alaska, who won a essay writing contest that Lisa Murkowski was holding, and I actually saw her about an hour or so ago. She was up there at that podium. She was practicing her speech or her essay that she had written, and so we're going to get a chance to hear from her, and of course she's going to help the House Speaker light this Christmas tree around 5:30 local time.
Yeah, that is really very exciting for Alaskans as a whole, but also, of course, for Rose herself to be part of that ceremony. Obviously, it's only 1 o'clock, almost 1 o'clock here in Alaska, but it is 5 o'clock there and getting dark. I'm also, this is very fascinating. You can't see it because you're not seeing the tree behind you, but there are ornaments or waving back and forth. Is it windy there, or do we have a squirrel running through the tree?
No, it's definitely windy here, and ever since the sun went down, it's gotten a bit cold here, but maybe not for the people back in Alaska, but the people here in Washington are certainly a little bit colder tonight. But yes, definitely you can see all those ornaments. You're going to be able to see them that much more, of course, once this Christmas tree is lit around 5:30 Eastern Time, 1:30 your time, and so it's going to be bright, it's going to be beautiful, and everybody's going to get a chance to see it from now through New Year's Day.
Well, we really appreciate that you spent some time with us today, and you know, Alaskans understand cold no matter where. I looked up the weather in DC right now, and it is 39 degrees, and with the little bit of wind, I understand why you're cold. So we absolutely accept that other people can be cold too. So anything else that we've got? I know look, you can see some of the crowd starting to move in. Tell me about the band that we hear playing in the background.
Yeah, it's the U.S. Air Force Band. They are out for a number of different ceremonies here, but they're helping to warm up the crowd. We do know that they're going to have a performance during this ceremony tonight, but they come out for all the different Christmas tree lighting ceremonies. There's not just one here at the U.S. Capitol. There's also one at the White House. And so really one of the prestigious bands that we get to witness here in Washington, D.C. You guys get to hear them all the way there from Alaska. And it's just one of the cool things about being here in Washington. You get to hear a pretty prestigious band like the U.S. Air Force Band.
Well, that is very cool, and I know we are just a little bit away from the ceremony actually beginning. One of the things that this tree has done is it has gone across the United States, 4,000 miles. We were just talking about that a little bit, but it all started with them harvesting this tree in Alaska. And of course, the challenge is getting a tree from Alaska all the way to Washington, D.C., and keeping it alive over those 6 weeks. So they had to do a special wrapping it, putting it in keeping the root ball safe, and then driving it those 4,000 miles. So we've had a lot of coverage. Of course, we had our two truck drivers who were the Alaskans of the week just a few weeks ago, because they have driven this so far. And now it has arrived in DC I guess about a week ago, a little more than a week ago, and it is now set to be lit here in just a few minutes. Kind of give me an idea, Josh, of what we're seeing as the mood in that area.
Yeah, look, everybody's really just waiting with anticipation for this lighting ceremony to speak. Again, if you live here in Washington or if you come to Washington ultimately for this ceremony year in and year out or just for the holiday season, everybody looks forward to this. I mean, this is the U.S. Capitol. It's, of course, the bedrock of our democracy here, and everybody gets to see this Capitol Christmas tree, the quote-unquote people's tree that gets lit every single year for the past 60 years. And so everybody gets a chance to see it. And as you said, now you see all these ornaments. It's pretty cool that from Alaska, you guys are going to be featured here on the National Mall. And we're also seeing some more people file in here on the left and right. So I'd say you have a couple hundred people on both sides, and everybody's just waiting with anticipation for the tree to be lit and for the ceremony to begin.
You said that we're going to hear speeches from Senator Murkowski. Is the whole delegation going to speak that you know of?
Yeah, as of right now, we know that House Speaker Mike Johnson is the one who is officially in charge of this thing. He's the one who sets the date for when this ceremony is going to be held. And then, yes, the congressional delegation from each state from where the tree comes, they will be the ones that will be sitting here behind us, and they will be addressing. Of course, the governor has also come here, and he will be talking as well. So you're going to hear from all three of Alaska's congressional delegation as well as the governor.
And it is lovely. Hopefully the rest of the country is also watching because, as you say, it's the people's tree. It came from Alaska, but it made a huge journey to get to the east coast of the United States. Obviously, it's Ketchikan, Wrangell here in Alaska, Altoona, Iowa, it stopped by, Baker City, Oregon, Columbus, Ohio, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Grand Junction, Colorado, Omaha, Nebraska, and it has a police escort wherever it goes, which is amazing to me. Pocatello, Idaho, Murray, Utah, Loveland, Colorado, Renton, Washington. These are just some of the places that I know about because we got sent video footage from as the tree was passing through. And just for Alaskans to let everyone know, and actually for any viewers of Local News Live, we are producing a half-hour special that will be airing on Christmas Day about the Christmas tree's journey. So this will be the culmination of that is as the tree gets set up. And we're watching video right now, Josh, of when the tree was set up in the DC area, and you can see it's those beautiful ornaments on there. So Alaska, it looks like we did a pretty good job putting together those ornaments and making that a very festive tree. So I'm going to give Alaska kind of a thumbs up and say we did a pretty good job with those ornaments because it looks beautiful from here.
Yeah, I mean, you guys should be very proud. I mean, this is a beautiful tree. It looks like this is actually about to get underway here, and we can see House Speaker Mike Johnson. He is coming up with Rose Berg from Kenai, Alaska. You can hear we have Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Dan Sullivan, Congresswoman Peltola is there, Governor Mike Dunleavy. I'm going to step out of the shot here so you guys can see what's going on. It looks like we're about to get underway.
Chief Randy Moore of the U.S. Forest Service, Architect of the Capitol, Thomas Austin, and Youth Tree Lighter Rose Burke, 4th grade student from Kenai, Alaska. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Thomas Austin, Architect of the Capitol.
Good evening. Welcome to the 60th annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony at the United States Capitol. The Alaska delegation and all of our distinguished guests this evening, along with our Capitol Hill neighbors and those of you who are visiting Washington, D.C. A lot of work goes into finding the perfect Christmas tree for the United States Capitol, and I'm glad to say we have made a beautiful selection this year. It is an 80-foot Sitka spruce from the Tongass National Forest in Alaska. Lighting the Capitol Christmas tree has been a festive holiday tradition since 1964, and it is one we're proud to continue. It began when former Speaker John McCormick asked one of my predecessors, the 8th architect of the Capitol, J. George Stewart, to place a Christmas tree on the Capitol grounds to celebrate this special time of year. In 1970, the architect of the Capitol partnered with the U.S. Forest Service to find the perfect candidate for the People's Tree. We are grateful for the efforts they helped make this annual festive tradition a success. This year's tree made quite an impressive journey, traveling more than 700 miles by sea and 4,000 miles by truck to get from the country's largest national forest in Alaska to here on the west front lawn of the U.S. Capitol. Thank you to everyone who helped this tree make the trip. We truly appreciate your support to help bring the holiday spirit to Washington, D.C. I also want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Jim Kaufman and the Capitol Grounds and Arboretum team here at the Architect of the Capitol, who have spent the days and many of the nights since the tree's arrival decorating it with thousands of lights and handcrafted ornaments from Alaskan communities. This is my first year as the architect, and in the time since my appointment, I have been continually impressed by the hard work and dedication of our employees that they put in behind the scenes to make events like this a success. We are all grateful for your efforts and can't wait to see the People's Tree lit up in all of its splendor. We are delighted to have a beautiful tree that Alaskans and all Americans can be proud of. Thank you for coming to celebrate this wonderful time of the year at the United States Capitol.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Randy Moore of the United States Forest Service.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker, Senator Murkowski, Senator Sullivan, Representative Patola, and distinguished guests. My name is Randy Moore, and I am honored to serve as the 20th Chief of the U.S. Forest Service, where I have the responsibility of overseeing management and protection of 193 million acres of national forests and grasslands across this great nation. This is only the second time in the 54-year history of the Forest Service providing the People's Tree that it has come from the great land of Alaska. This year, we harvested a beautiful 80-foot Sitka spruce from the Tongass National Forest, which is the nation's largest national forest at nearly 17 million acres. The Tongass National Forest sustains Alaska's communities and continues to provide for traditional and cultural ways of life. As our nation's largest national forest and the homelands of the Tlingit, Haida, and the Tsimshian peoples who have stewarded these lands and waters since time immemorial. The tree was harvested within their traditional territory by the Wrangell Cooperative Association and was blessed by the tribes before beginning its journey of nearly 4,000 miles on land. The effort of bringing the People's Tree to Washington, D.C. is one which spans the whole state of Alaska. Both the Tongass and the Chugach National Forest employees came together with the people of Alaska to create more than 14,000 handmade ornaments and dozens of tree skirts that would beautify trees across our nation's capital. This year's campaign theme focused on where nature, people, and tradition come together, which is a fitting tribute which captures the natural beauty of Alaska's forests and coastlines, the resilience and fortitude of its residents, and the richness of the traditions and cultural heritage passed down from generation to generation. I am honored to share this tree on behalf of all Alaskans and the entire nation. I want to acknowledge and thank the many organizations who partner with us and who keep returning to this campaign year after year. Their unwavering advocacy and support of the People's Tree delivery and highlighting this as a symbolic gift to the nation is essential. And I especially want to share my appreciation for the Society of American Foresters and our presenting sponsor, 84 Lumber, for making this year's effort possible. Thank you for allowing me to celebrate and recognize a piece of the great work the Forest Service is doing to serve the American people. Happy holidays, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mike Dunleavy, Governor of Alaska.
Good evening. I thought I was coming to Washington to get warmed up. This is colder than Alaska tonight. But isn't this a beautiful tree? Everything is bigger in Alaska. That's what we like to say up there. Anyway, tonight we gather here in our nation's capital to light this magnificent Christmas tree, a beacon of hope and unity that reflects the spirit of the season. It's an honor to be here alongside so many esteemed guests. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize my wife, Alaska's First Lady, Rose Dunleavy. I'm not sure where Rose is sitting. There she is right there. This evening is especially meaningful because this tree comes from the Wrangell area of the Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska, a region defined by its breathtaking beauty, thriving ecosystems, and cultural richness. The Tongass is the largest U.S. national forest at 16.7 million acres, and it's home to ancient trees, abundant wildlife, and resilient communities. It's fitting that this 80-foot Sitka spruce, a symbol of strength and endurance, was selected to represent not only Alaska, but the enduring hope of the holiday season. As we reflect on the year 2024, filled with both triumphs and challenges, we are reminded that light shines brightest in the darkness. Like the northern lights that dance across Alaska's winter skies, the spirit of Christmas is a reminder of the beauty and resilience found even in the coldest, darkest moments of life. Christmas is more than just a holiday. It's a universal message of hope, peace, and goodwill. It's about extending grace to our neighbors, seeking understanding, and finding joy in the simple act of giving. Across all faiths, traditions, and cultures, the season calls us to reflect upon what unites us and to share our light with others. This year, the world has seen its share of hardship, from natural disasters to conflicts and uncertainty. Yet through it all, we have witnessed the strength of the human spirit. Much like the Alaskan wilderness, where communities adapt and thrive amid challenging conditions, people around the world have stepped forward to care for one another. From rebuilding after storms to providing aid to those in need, these acts of kindness and courage inspire us to do better and to be better. This tree, rooted in Alaska's majestic forests, stands as a symbol of hope and interconnectedness. Its roots remind us of its shared history. Its towering height encourages us to aim higher, and its lights represent the unyielding hope that guides us forward. The Sitka spruce, Alaska's state tree, has been used by cultures for centuries for what it can provide and what it represents. Tonight, it serves another purpose, to inspire and unite all of us. As we light this tree, let us commit to being lights in the lives of others, not just during the holidays, but every day. Let us bring warmth to a world that often feels cold and hope to those who need it the most. From my family to yours, from my beloved state of Alaska, to my fellow Americans and friends around the globe, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a peaceful, prosperous New Year. And may this magnificent tree inspire us to carry that light of the season into the year ahead. Thank you, and may the light of this tree shine brightly in all of our hearts. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mary Sattler Peltola, United States Representative from Alaska.
Hello. In Yupik, we say Alusistak Chikichi, which means Merry Christmas to more than two people. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight. As I walked up, I saw the beautiful tribal regalia from Wrangell. It is so wonderful to have you here in Washington, D.C., representing Alaskans, representing the beautiful place where this tree came from. Thank you for sharing this beautiful gift with the nation. I'm very encouraged to meet Rose Burke this evening. She wrote the winning essay for the tree, and I was especially touched with these words that she wrote. When they see this majestic Christmas tree, they will be reminded of our farthest most state. Though far away, we are united in love for our country. I think this is beautiful, especially this time of year. And Alaska may be the largest and most remote state in our nation, but it feels very small and close-knit to those of us who are from there. And it's wonderful to see so many Alaskans here tonight enjoying this with us. And when we talk about the 4,000 miles that this tree came from, it reminds me of the long haul that our delegation makes. And it makes me really grateful to have been a member of this delegation. And as my time comes to a close, this is a really beautiful event, and I really appreciate being here with you all this evening. Again, Alusistok Jigichi.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Dan Sullivan, United States Senator from Alaska.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's great to be here. It's great to be here with my wife, Julie, and so many Alaskans who flew thousands of miles for this great event. It's great to be here with my colleagues from the Congress, Governor, Mr. Speaker, and Rose Burke. How about a round of applause for Rose Burke from Kenai? You know, as already mentioned, we do everything big in Alaska and tall in Alaska, biggest state, biggest mountain, biggest national forest with the Tongass, this big giant Christmas tree. We even grow very tall governors in Alaska, so it's great to have Mike Dunleavy here, who's doing a great job for our state as well. I want to just make sure that everybody here today, if you're not from Alaska, you get a sense of what winter looks like back home in our wonderful state. It's a winter wonderland now, snow-covered trees, cold, clear skies, the northern lights. Everybody here, if you haven't been, should have Alaska on your bucket list. We'd love to have you up to our great state. You certainly won't forget it. But even if you can't get up to Alaska during the winter, this great tree is a really good substitute to give you a sense of our majestic state. Imagine tens of thousands of trees just like this, blanketed in several feet of snow. It's a magical place, it's a magical time of year, and for us Alaskans, this is a slice of home right here in the capital. This tree, as already mentioned, has made it quite a journey to get here, nearly 5,000 miles, and I want to do a shout out to the great two Alaska Teamster truck drivers who drove this tree all the way from Alaska with combined experience in driving trucks of 120 years. How about a round of applause for Fred Austin and John Shank? They did such a great job. It was an honor a couple weeks ago to highlight them in the weekly speech I try to give on the Senate floor called the Alaskan of the Week. And I think at least one of them's here. John, I believe, is here at the tree lighting. And by the way, they drove this tree all across America. They stopped in 12 states, 17 towns on their 3-week journey, driving this tree safely, spreading good Alaskan Christmas cheer across the country. You know, you have two great Alaskans, like I said, who did this. Fred is literally from North Pole, Alaska. No kidding. to spread the Christmas cheer here, and they did a great job. So to Fred and John, everybody else from Alaska, everybody else in the Capitol, the speaker, again, sir, thank you for hosting us. We really, really hope you enjoy this beautiful tree. Only the second tree in the 60-year history of the Capitol tree lighting from Alaska. I think when the architect of the Capitol and the forester of the United States see how beautiful this tree is, they're going to want an Alaska tree every year. So enjoy and Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Lisa Murkowski, United States Senator from Alaska.
Okay, we're getting close to the lighting time, and that's why we are all here on this beautiful, beautiful, crisp evening. Now, some of you may be a little chilly out there, but I have to tell you, this tree is loving the fact that it's a little bit cooler than normal. So it makes it feel like it is home. And as Alaskans, those that we can see in the lights here, there's about 100 Alaskans that are gathered here for this celebration, this recognition, this acknowledgement of what it means to bring the holidays, and bringing the holidays through a special Christmas tree every year. And to have a tree from the Tongass National Forest, I will just share with you, is very personal to me. And this tree is pretty personal to me because this tree happened to come from Zarembo Island, which is the island just off the water from Wrangell, Alaska, where I spent growing up years, where my parents still live, and I can sit on their porch and look out at the same island that this majestic tree came from. So I really do feel like home with this extraordinary thing. You know, you think about the logistics. This is a huge, massive tree. It did not come in parts that are assembled. So it's on one huge, long, 80-foot plus flatbed. Gave him the highlight that they so deserve, but masterful driving. You can't get this thing around corners and do it easily. And the fact that it was a 4,000-mile plus adventure for these men, plus 752 miles, I don't want to exaggerate at all, over the water, 8 days at sea, and then the days across the lower 48 coming this way. 80 feet tall, the root ball alone, the roots on this tree, over 3,000 pounds. So a massive tree, massive project, all those who really worked to bring this together, it has not been an easy task. And so thanks go out to the Forest Service, thanks go out to the Alaskans, from the Tongass, from the Chugach, from Alaska's national forests, who worked so hard with so many of us over the months to get to where we are today. It's not just those that moved the tree here, but it's how this tree came to be in this place tonight in such extraordinary condition. This tree went through a little bit of a science experiment. This is a journey where this tree was harvested on October 19th. Think about what that means, October 19th. And we're sitting here on the 3rd of December. And you touch that tree, as I did just a little bit ago, and you can't touch it. I got special permission from the Capitol Police. I'm not supposed to tell anyone, Mr. Architect. But this tree feels as fresh as any tree that is still in the ground today. And it came about because of the innovation of an individual in Wrangell, Alaska, who figured out maybe I could use this misting system that uses a couple pumps that come out of 4 55-gallon barrels. It has filters and a nutrition delivery system. And he worked not with scientists, not with Forest Service people. He worked with kids from Wrangell High School, a group that they call T3. It's an after-school group of kids. And those kids and that individual and the community members figured out how to keep this extraordinary tree so healthy and so alive that when this tree arrived, it was still breathing through its roots and through its boughs. So thank you to Wrangell, Alaska, to the community with heart, to our tribal leaders, to our young people, to those in the schools, those of you who have made today's extraordinary tree so special here. And I also want to end with an acknowledgement of every one of those high school kids, those elementary school kids, those elders who made thousands and thousands, almost 15,000 handmade ornaments that will grace this tree and other companion trees during the holidays. And it came about with an excitement of the delivery of a promise, and a promise that we will hear reflected when Rose Burke reads her essay. To be selected from all of the fourth graders that participated to give her thoughts about what this tree means. And I would read the whole essay, but it's not fair to Rose, but Congresswoman Peltola took the exact words that I wanted to highlight. Her reminder that through this majestic tree that comes from far away, from the farthest north state, we're united in love for our country. It is beautiful to be able to celebrate the holidays, to wish Merry Christmas, and to be here in our nation's capital with a beautiful piece of Alaska in front of us. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Stak In Kwan tribal citizens.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited to be here this evening to share our tree with you. My English name is Esther Ashton Reese. My Tlingit name is Achsin. I will introduce myself in our language. Achsin Yuchattuasak, Chakna Chatsiti, Tagwidi Ayachat Kikwanda Chatsiti, Kachadi Yatki Chatsiti, Dakdain Tan, Dashkhan Chatsiti, Chai Hit Dach Chatsiti. My Tlingit name is Achsin. I am Eagle. I am Killer Whale. We are a matrilineal society, so we honor our mothers and our grandmothers. And then my father was of the Salmon people. My grandfather was of the Sea Pigeon people. And I am honored to serve as the tribal administrator for the Wrangell Cooperative Association, which is the local tribal government in Wrangell. I am honored to introduce Lou Knapp on my right, on Shawas Nook. She is on the WCA Tribal Council and the mother of the Eagles in Wrangell. Sandy Churchill, or Tsutsan Kla, is on our tribal council. She's also the Grand Camp president of the Alaska Native Sisterhood, a significant organization that brought about our citizenship in Alaska. And then we have Frank Churchill in the crowd, want to acknowledge him on our tribal council. And we have Mike Hoyt, or Aktatsin. He is a clan leader of the Teton. He is a totem carver, and he is also one of the artists that created the Capitol Christmas tree logo. We are honored that the Capitol Christmas tree comes from the homelands of the Stak In Kwan in Wrangell, Alaska. For the Tlingit people, the trees are our life givers. They are how we create our canoes, our homes, and our totems, which tell our stories. They're our connection to our ancestors, and they show our love for our children and those who come after us as we steward the lands. And I just want to echo what Senator Murkowski said about our teaching through technology students. I am so proud of them. I see a couple of them in the front row here. For creating the first ever misting system to bring this tree all across the country to be in the wonderful shape that it is in today. Our Tlingit culture is about balance, reciprocity, and respect. Gunachish for allowing us to share a part of ourselves, bringing this balance, love, and respect to the nation's capital by sharing our life giver with you. Kutsachan tin yagatutlak, we are going to succeed with love. Gnalchish, and I will hand the mic over to Aktatsin, and he's going to explain our blessing.
Gnalchish anyat kusani, Gnalchish audinechi, hayikini, Gnalchish katyuhan, Gnalchish hayi hatu kunachyak yagi. It's an honor for all of us to be here, and we're just so thankful that we get to be part of this process and to have seen this every step of the way. Something that I think is common throughout all of Alaska and the Alaska Native cultures, whether it's the Inupiaq up north or the Yupik in the southwest, the Athabascans in the interior, the Aluktik and Unangan out in the Aleutian Islands, and then of course the Tlingit and Tsimshian in southeast, is just a respect and an honor for the world that takes care of us, and an acknowledgement that life can be fragile and it can be precious, and that when we take from the world around us, we have to be thankful and we show respect for what we're doing. And so part of that process involves, when we take down things like trees, is talking to the tree people, to Asquani, and to let them know, we're making sure that our tools are sharp, and so that the pain will be minimized, that we're going to lay out blankets in black bear skins for it to fall down onto, and that we're spreading eagle down to show our good intentions and our love and peace for the tree people, as well as to keep the people that are working with the tree safe, and to talk with the tree people and let them know why we're doing this and what we're doing it for. And so for this particular tree, I think it was an honor to know that this was going to be going across the country, and seeing the video last night of all the people across the country just having a great time. And I want to acknowledge all the people that have played a role in this process, whether it was the T3 students or everyone at the Forest Service, and everyone here in DC that has helped with that process of planning. It's just been an honor to see all of the happy faces. To me, that really embodies that Tlingit language, that phrase that we put on the bottom of the logo of that peace, joy, and happiness. Ka yesh, sagu, ka tuwuk eh. We're going to sing two songs. The first one is going to be a paddle song, just to acknowledge the journey that this went through, that this tree went on. And then we'll sing a welcome song to welcome the tree here to DC, and of course to welcome all you folks. Gnalchish.
Gnalchish, sagu kiswas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mike Johnson, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Wow, thank you so much. I don't know how to follow that. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much, Chief Moore and Mr. Austin. and our friends from the Shtakin Kwan tribe. I'm trying my best to pronounce that. All right, thank you. Thank you also to Governor Dunleavy, and I know it's not a short trip from Alaska, so we want to thank all of our friends who came this long way to be here. Thanks also to Alaska's extraordinary delegation here in Congress, your senators, your member of Congress. They make great sacrifices to serve an extraordinary state and one of our favorites. And what a great thing to share the culture of Alaska here tonight on Capitol Hill. I also want to reiterate our thanks to the drivers who made this tree possible to get it here, 4,000 miles we've heard so many times. It's pretty awesome. That's why we keep repeating it. But Fred Austin and John Shank, and I'm told, this hasn't been mentioned yet tonight, but I think John made this same trip the last time Alaska had a tree here. And I'm not sure how many people in the history of the United States have made that trek twice, but that's really something. And we're grateful for their hard work. Yes, indeed. Well, we love this event every year. It's a great celebration for all the reasons that have been stated. And as this tree is placed in front of the Capitol, we remember that this is the people's house. And that means that this tree is truly the people's tree. This holiday season, more than 100,000 tourists will tour the halls of this monument to our great republic. And as they leave, they'll stand on the National Mall and they'll see this tree. You'll be able to see it all the way down the mall. It'll be well decorated, of course, with colorful lights and ornaments. And the lights on this tree symbolize something. They symbolize the light that this season brings. As has been mentioned tonight, the light of hope and happiness and tradition. The light of joy that comes with having meals with family and friends. And, of course, the light of gratitude that comes with reflecting on the blessings of the year that is past. And as we dedicate this tree, we look up to see the star atop its branches, and it's a star not unlike the one that guided those three ancient wise men to Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. These wise men, looking to the star above in the east, were filled with faith and hope and love, and they looked beyond the kings of the earth to see the birth of the King of Kings, Jesus of Nazareth. It's Congress's duty as representatives of the people to follow the example of those wise men and look up for wisdom, to look to God, our Creator, who has so greatly blessed our nation. We look to him for guidance as we pursue the unity and the well-being of this great and beautiful nation. President Ronald Reagan once observed that, quote, "Of all the kings who ever reigned, and of all the parliaments that ever sat, none have done as much to advance the cause of peace on earth and goodwill to all men as the King of Kings." And because our country seeks peace and because we seek the good of this nation, we ought to reflect this Prince of Peace in the way we live our own lives and live as those who shine the light even in the darkest of places. For much of our nation's history, at Christmas time, families have gathered in their homes around the Christmas tree to open presents and in their churches to celebrate and to have prayer. They gathered in front of fireplaces and in pews where the hope is kindled and faith is inspired. And it's also where we feel most closely those who are not with us. The service members who are stationed overseas defending our freedom, the Americans who are held hostage by dark regimes. And in the face of that darkness, we invoke the power of prayer for those who find this season bittersweet. We ask that God would fill them with the warmth of love and the promise of peace on earth and goodwill towards all men. And we pray that when they look at the light of this Christmas tree or at the candles of the menorahs on their mantles, that they will be filled with renewed hope. Now, I would be wrong to light this tree alone, and I need the help of someone who knows that this tree, where it comes from, far better than I do. And you've heard a lot about Miss Rose Burke tonight, but I'm going to ask her to join me up here on the stage. Will you come up, Miss Rose? Come over here. Give her a round of applause. Now, you've heard Rose is the winner of the Capitol Christmas Tree Essay Contest, and she comes to us all the way from Kenai, Pennsylvania and Alaska. Did I say it right? Kenai? Okay, Kenai, right? She's corrected me already twice tonight. She's also one of 12 brothers and sisters. Everything's bigger in Alaska, as was said. And I'm sure she made gifts for all of them, right? You made gifts for all the siblings? That takes a whole month, I know. Everybody, we're going to ask Rose to share with us the essay that allowed her to win this contest. You've already heard it quoted twice but let's hear it from the author herself. One more hand for Rose Burke, if you will.
This amazing Christmas tree is from my home state, Alaska. Just like Alaska, it is big and beautiful. It is from Tongass National Forest in southeast Alaska. This tree represents all of Alaska. The state of Alaska is known for its wild forest, gorgeous mountains, and beautiful glaciers. People from all over our country come to see our wildlife: ferocious bears, massive moose, migrating caribou, breaching whales, and soaring bald eagles. People from all over our country come to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. When they see this majestic Christmas tree, they will be reminded of our farthest north state. Though far away, we are united in love for our country. A Christmas tree brings joy to our hearts. May this Christmas tree fill the hearts of those who see it with extreme joy and hope for the future of the United States of America.
Okay, so we're going to light this together. You going to help me with this? All right, let me make sure I don't mess up the instructions here. Okay. Rose, that was fantastic. You deserve this honor, and I would just say, when I was in 4th grade, I could not speak that well. You're really, really great at this. We're so grateful you made this journey all the way down here, so we don't want to wait any longer. Everybody's freezing. I know you can handle the cold, but I don't do it very well. All right, would you all join me? We'll do a countdown. We'll say 5 all the way down to 1, and then Rose and I are going to, or she's going to flip the switch here. Ready? You want to count down from 5? Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Hey! Good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Tom Austin, Architect of the Capitol.
All right. Been a good evening. Great remarks. Thank you for coming to tonight's ceremony and joining Speaker Johnson, the Alaska delegation, the Forest Service, the U.S. Air Force Band. Oh, a round of applause for the band, too. And of course, our youth Christmas tree lighter, Rose Burke, in lighting the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree. This tree will be lit from dusk until 11 p.m. each night from now until January 1st. We encourage you to come back and see it again in all of its splendor. Have a good night and a safe and joyful holiday season. Thank you all.
And there you
Ladies
have
and
it.
gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Thank you for attending the United States Capitol Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony.
There it is, the Capitol Christmas tree from Alaska, an 80-foot Sitka spruce that will be on the Capitol lawn all for the holiday season through January 1st. Then I believe they said they are going to actually basically, when it's done, put it back through a wood chipper, and then the remnants will be sent back to Alaska to the people in southeast Alaska where the tree came from. So just a beautiful tree, looked lovely in the daylight, looks amazing with those lights shown up, and of course our photographer getting some close-ups there. We will have another story, of course. We'll have the full story tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10 on Alaska's News Source. There there, some of those ornaments made by Alaskans. The bears, I know, were at the Anchorage Museum, and the fish as well. Looks like some beautiful glass and plate ornaments as well. So really a lovely mix of different ornaments that were made in Alaska. They said they needed 10,000. It sounds like they got close to 15,000 ornaments for the tree. Not only this tree, but also the companion trees that will be around the different parts of the capital area. There are a number of companion trees that will also be decorated with those ornaments from Alaska. And you can see the flashes. We also saw the media moving around. Oh, there's a lovely picture of the star. So thank you so much. We will check out here. We'll leave you with that shot. And we will see you back at 4, 5, 6, and 10 on Alaska's News Source.